You want to see how to make this beautiful skirt? You watch this video to the end. This is a fancy skirt. You're welcome to Jodala Fashion Guide. I am G Joy. If you want to know how to make this beautiful skirt I'm putting on, just watch this video to the end. And if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please, before you continue watching, just press the subscribe button and let me know what you think about this skirt. You are welcome to my channel. I am G Joy. In today's video, we are going to be making a knee-length skirt with inseam finishing. In our previous class, we learned how to draft a basic skirt. So today, we are going to be practicing it on fabric. On the fabric, if you do not have a pattern paper, then draft on the lining that you are going to use first before transferring to your main fabric. These are the measurements that we'll be working with. The waist is 37, the hip is 47, and the waist to hip is 9 inches. The skirt length is 24, and then I'm going to be using the bust span to mark where I'm going to cut the dart, and it is 8 inches divided by 2 is 4, and then I'll be adding 0.5 inches to that, the front body. So I'll just place it on each other like this, and then I use pin to secure it. Increase this by 2 inches. Okay, so the line is going to be shorter with the main fabric by 2 inches. So here I'll use the exact, which is 24, but when I want to cut the main fabric, I'll cut 26. Mark half inch on top before I start. So this is my waistline. The waist to hip is 9 inches. Let's make sure you're getting a straight line. My hip line. And this is the waist. And this is the hem of the skirt. Okay. So I'll just take my dart now from this edge, 4.5. The dart length is going to be 5 inches. I'm just going to use same for front and back, so that's why I'm cutting them together. And take half inch on both sides. I'm going to be cutting it out. When it's time to sew, I'll show you. I'm simply going to pinch it. So you can go ahead and mark. You can notch it to know where the dart is on all of them. You can notch. Circumference divided by 4. Mine is 9.25. And then the 1 inch dart. On the hip line, hip circumference divided by 4, 11.75. Then 1 inch seam allowance. This is the waist measurement. This is the dart intake, 1 inch, and then 1 inch seam allowance. On the hem, I don't want the skirt to be too tight on me, so I'll just reduce Those are measurements. The measurement I have here, this is 12.75, which is here. Then I'll subtract 1 inch from that. You can subtract 1.5, depend on you, but I want it to be a bit full, so I'll subtract only 1. From the hip to the hem, and then the waist to the hip. If you have your hip curve, you can use your hip curve. If you don't have a hip, you can use your straight ruler. Or you can also use your French curve, and then use the French curve to blend here so that there will be no false hip. Cut it out. The front piece. This is the front piece. This is the front piece, and then this is the back. Okay. On the back piece, this zipper line, I'll cut it open. So I will use this now to cut the main fabric, and then I'll show you. So we have cut out our main fabric. This is the lining, and this is the main fabric. The lining is shorter than the main fabric with 2 inches. And then I'm going ahead to mark the dots. Mark the dots. This is for the front part of the skirt. Sorry, this is for the back, and this is for the front. It is also, the line is also shorter with 2 inches. We do not want to cut out the dots. So before we begin to sew, we just iron where the dot is. Just take it like this. And then you iron it. So I'll repeat that for all. So we finish ironing all of them. So we go to the machine and start sewing. We'll start by sewing the dots on the lining and then on the main fabric. So sew all the dots. So this is the front piece of the lining. I've sewed the dots. So I'll repeat same for the back piece of the lining and also on the main fabric, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So I'll finish sewing the dots on the lining. I'll also sew on the main fabric. So this is the front piece. I've sewn the dots. I'll go ahead and sew the back piece and show you. So we've sewn the dots of the back piece. The back piece of the main lining fabric, there are two. And this is the front piece. Okay. And then this is the lining for the back piece. There are also two. And then this is the mirror. So the next thing to do now is to join all the linings together, and then also join the main fabric together. So to join the lining together, I'll take the side of the back piece against the side of the front. Okay, right side facing each other. So you go ahead and mark out the 1 inch seam allowance. Mark it out on both sides, and then before you start sewing, you cross check that your measurement is correct, because it's going to be an inseam. You will not have time to be reloosing again, so you check the waist measurement again, cross check that the waist measurement is correct, then cross check the hip measurement. Cross check that the hip measurement is correct, and then go ahead and sew on the 1 inch line. We'll also repeat same for the main fabric, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Just as you did on the lining, you mark out the seam allowance. Mark out the seam allowance, and then you cross check that your measurement is correct before going to the sewing machine. So you go ahead and sew along the 1 inch. Sew along the 1 inch. Here's the lining. Always trim off your thread. After sewing one side like this, you turn it to the other side and start from the down part again, and start from the other side again, and sew. Remember to back stitch. This is the lining. We have joined the front and the back together. You see that? So we do same for the main fabric, joining the front and the back piece together. And then I'll show you the front piece and the back piece together. So this is what we now have. So you go ahead and iron the main fabric and the lining, and then I'll show you what next to do. So we are ironing, iron on the wrong side first, and then the sides, same, you open it and iron. You open it and iron. So this is the same line, finish ironing. So this is the lining, and this is the main fabric. So the part of the skirt that is opened is the zipper allowance side that is opened. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to sew the down of the skirt or the hem of the skirt. You are going to sew it with 1/2 inch. So what you do, you place your made fabric like this. You place your lining on top. Right side facing each other. This is the right side of the fabric, this is the right side of the lining. Match the seam together, the side seam. Use a pin to hold it in place. Use the other side seam to match it with the side seam of the made fabric. So remember, we are doing inseam finishing. So you go ahead and sew with 1/2 inch from one side to the ending. I'll sew it and bring it to show you. So now finished stitching. This is what it looks like. Okay. So this is the hem of the skirt. So go ahead and put it together like this. Use the two, make the waist to join. You see, you push. This is why we added the extra. See it. So what I'm going to do now is that I'll just match the waistline together, making sure that they are the same, and then I'll pin it. So the two waistline, the front waist and the back waist, are aligned. Then you cannot iron this down part. So I'll finish ironing. Like I said before, this is the zipper line, and then this is the top. It's going to be a bandless skirt, a skirt without band. So if you want yours to have a band, you will reduce the length of the skirt by 1.5 inches. But this one is a skirt without band. It's not going to have a band. Okay. First of all, we are going to iron the 1 inch zipper line. We'll iron it. Okay, we'll iron it. After ironing, we'll close up the parts that will be open on the leg side. We'll leave open the zipper side. We'll close this other side. Okay, and then we'll fix the zip before. We'll leave the middle open where we are going to turn, and then we sew the top. Okay, so first of all, I'll just fold it in like this by 1 inch and iron it. Okay, I'll do that and show you. So welcome back. The next stage now is to determine where the zip will be, and then how much opening we are going to leave for the back. Okay, so that is for the down part. I'm going to leave 8 inches opening. So from this down, I'm going to mark 8 inches. So this is where I want the 8. This fabric is not accepting chocolate. Okay, I'll just use pin to mark it. So this is our 8 inches. So I want the opening to end here. To end here. Okay, and then we also determine where the zip. This is the zip we are using. We determine where it's going to stop. We are going to leave the zip will not start from here. We'll start here. Okay, so that by the time we now add the lining, it will now cover here. So mark this where the zip is going to. I said the zip from here is where we are going to start. Get to this stopper here. So we'll get somewhere here like this. So measure what you have from here to this mark. So let's say 8 inches is 8.1. Okay, we can do 8. We can do 8 1/4. Okay, 8 1/4. So this is what you are going to do. You open this place, you mark 8 1/4. This is the opening. This is the opening of the back. We measure 8 1/4. On this second side, we also measure 8 1/4. We also mark 8 1/4. We pin both of them together first, like this, making sure that they are equal. So we also open this place that we marked. We marked here as here the zipper will get to. I mean the opening for the back. Mark somewhere here. So we are going to close this place. We'll close here up. We close from here. Okay, we close here up. We'll repeat same for the lining, but when we are closing the lining, we also mark the 8 inch, the 8 1/4, because whatever you did to the main fabric, you do it to the lining as well. And then you know that the down, we are leaving 8 inches open. So from this down, mark, measure 8 inches. 8 inches is somewhere here. Okay. So for the lining, we are not going to close here completely. We have 8 inches in between, so we'll sew it up to 4 inches. This is where we are going to turn everything out from, or we can sew up to 3 inches. This is where we are going to turn everything out from eventually. So I'll go ahead now. I'll join the lining. I'll join the lining from here to here. Then I'll join the main fabric. I'll join the main fabric from here to here. Okay, after doing that, we are going to fix the zip. So this is it. We have stitched that part of the lining, and then we have also stitched that part on the main fabric. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to insert the zip before we now close the up the upper side and the down side. So the way you sew invisible zip, this part that is folded in, you open it out, then you turn this to the back side, then use your pin to secure it along this place that you have already ironed. Go ahead and sew close to the zipper teeth. Sew close to the zipper teeth. Sew gently so you don't sew on the zipper teeth. You don't need to rush this part. Just sew gently. When you get close to this end, you raise your presser foot, close the zip before you continue. So we have sewn one side of the zipper, so we sew the other side. So I've already pinned it down. So when sewing, allow the zipper to be closed. That way you'll be able to sew freely. Just go gently as you are sewing. You're removing the pins that you use to secure the fabric. So as you get to the end, you raise your presser foot, you open the zip so that it will not be on the way, and then you complete sewing. This is what it looks like. So you go ahead and iron it. So the next thing to do now is to use the lining to sew the upper side. So to do that, this is the lining. So you bring it out. So first of all, you wear the main fabric, wear the lining. This is what I mean. Wear it. So the lining is supposed to be on it like this. This side is for this side. So to sew it, you kind of turn it against each other like this. You see, it's like this right now. Right now, back side is facing back side. So you turn it such that front side will be like this. Let front side be facing front side. So this is how we want it to be. Use your pin to secure it first, to make sure that it's okay before we sew. Then just turn it and pin it. So you are going to turn like this. Just be bringing it out and be matching it against each other. Right now, the front side are not facing each other. And now turn it, since you already know how you are going to pin it now. So after securing with a pin, before you sew, bring it out to see if you have placed it correctly. So as you can see, so I'll turn it inside out again. So the waistline is facing each other, right side to right side. So from one end of the zipper, allowance, or the zip opening rather, I'll use 1/2 inch because it's a bandless skirt. I'll use 1/2 inch now to sew from one end. This is where the zip is. Look at the zip. So we are sewing the top part first. I'll sew from here like this, 1/2 inch round to the other end of the zipper. So I'm sewing the top with 1/2 inch. Sew from one end the zip opening to the other end. So you be careful when you are sewing towards the end of the zipper, so that you don't sew on top of the stopper and break your needle. You finish sewing the top. So this zipper side, we're going to close it with 1/2 inch. This zipper side like this. I'll close one side completely, then the other side will leave an opening where we are going to turn it. Okay, so I'm now sewing it the back side now. That place that I showed you just now, we sew it down with 1/2 inch. So this is what we have done so far. We have sewed the top. So after closing the top, because a bounded skirt, before we turn it out, I close the side, close one side completely, and then the other side that is open, you can now bring it out to see what we have done so far. So this is the zip. So we have done one side now, and we have, this is the back of one of the side. And use your seam ripper to bring out the corner. See that? So is remaining this other side, is remaining here, and then the zipper side. Okay, so remember this mark that we marked here. So what we're going to do now is to turn it inside out again. This is the parts that we have not sewn. That is the other side. You put everything inside. So this is the remaining side. So what we are going to do is that we'll sew from this side. We'll sew it up to this our chalk mark. We'll sew it up to this place and stop. And then you sew from the down and also stop at this chalk mark here, this chalk mark. We also use 1/2 inch to sew at this chalk mark, so that we can turn it out from this space. So I'll finish sewing the other side now. Okay, so this is the opening, the small opening that we have remaining. So let's bring it out from this opening. That's the corner. Just push out the corner. So this is the back. This is the opening on the back. This is the part that is remaining that we have not closed. And then this is the zip. And this is the zip. So let me show you what the inside looks like. This is the inside. So this is the part that is remaining. I'll show you what to do to this part. So close up this remaining opening. We use hem stay to close it up. Just measure. I'm going to double it. Use a hot iron to press it up. So iron it down so it's closed now. So our skirt is complete. See the inside is inseam finishing, very neat, no opening. Excuse me. This is the zipper side. I adjusted. So when you are sewing that zipper line with the lining, use 3/4 instead of half. That is, you use 0.75 instead of 0.5 so that the zip can cover. So this is our skirt. And this is the back. Here's the zip. See how neat it is. The boundless skirt. You see it. So we have come to the end of this video. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you again in another video. Bye for now.